この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
Operators, this is predictive programming. I'm not saying plane crash is fake or not. I am showing what was shown before it happened. Predictive programming. Predictive programming is a basic of basic propaganda technique for the purpose of making mass population voluntarily accept a certain agenda before big shift or change in social structure by repetitively exposing certain images or messages through media or events of other countries. This is one of the most used mind control mechanism used by Permagov. By the way, Permagov is what average people call deep state, shadow government, global elites, and whatnot. People in this industry call it Permagov because of the structure of the society. I will explain it in other video. In our channel, we will use the word Permagov. Anyways, like I said, predictive programming enables mass population's subconscious part of the brain to be ready for the big shift or change in social structure, which leads to reduce in resistance towards the change in social structure. Operators that are not new to the channel most likely had this idea already. If not, you now will. Repetitive exposure is what was shown from the start of this video. All of them were shown before 9/11s. I have a whole video to talk about 9/11s. From Larry Silverstein and about $5 billion insurance money he has received. He enrolled in 22 different insurance 6 weeks before the 9/11s. I will make video about 9/11s in future. Let me introduce myself. My name is Yankee14. I also go by DK. I am a presenter of today's session, Predictive Programming. This is a first session of Mind Control Resistance series. My hobby is to protect basic human right, which are freedom of cognition and right to know the truth. My rule of life is, do not believe in everything that you see and hear. Mindful individuals must stay alert and stay tactical. In this session, we will see few out of many examples of predictive programming and the purpose of it. Let's get to work. World full of deception and false information are doing its best to drag us down. Although world may filled with lies, but our eyes remain clear. Such deceptions do not work on us, because there is only one truth. Let's get to work. There was a failed movie that no one watched that came out in 2011. Let's look at the casting members first. Matt Damon, actor from Saving Private Ryan, Jason Bourne movie series, Interstellar, The Martian. Kate Winslet, actress from Titanic, Avatar, Steve Jobs. Bryan Cranston, actor from Breaking Bad, The Upside, Saving Private Ryan, Seinfeld, World War Z. Marion Cotillard, actress from La Vie en Rose, Inception, The Dark Knight Rises. Lawrence Fishburne, actor from Matrix, John Wick series, Fantastic Four, Superman, Man of Steel, Jude Law, actor from Sherlock Holmes, Fantastic Beasts, Peter Pan and Wendy, Gwyneth Paltrow, actress from Iron Man, Avengers, Shakespeare in Love. Which movie in the world can digest this kind of casting level with unpopular garbage storyline on purpose? We know that assembling this kind of casting members is impossible for average movie production. Therefore, we know that this movie is very important, at least for somebody or some group of people that have more than enough amount of money. Let's look at what this movie is about. Growth of MEV1 in a bat lung cell line. Oh, it's a pandemic virus movie. And what is this? This is a virus came from a bat. Where? In China. And start spreading in a marketplace. Keep in mind, this is a movie from 2011, but this movie is too familiar for us, because not only the virus started spreading from a Chinese marketplace and supposedly came from a bat, but also the Chinese bat virus from this movie is a respiratory disease. The virus is spreaded by breathing, coughing, and by touching infected surfaces. Why is this virus a respiratory disease virus? There are so many ways to get disease. Parasites, fungus, nanorobotics, prions, bug bites, blood transfusion, bacteria, sexual activities, dust inhale. Again, why does it have to be a respiratory disease virus? What is this scene? This scene is also very familiar to us. Let's take a look. People are stomping over one another so they can hoard as much as supplies from supermarket. So easy to brainwash herd of sheeps, very vulnerable, believe everything that is shown, easily persuaded, and unable to question or doubt. Not only that, in the movie, there is a conspiracy theorist. Conspiracy theorists are saying that people must not get vaccinated. Vaccine is not properly tested before being publicly used, therefore we don't know what kind of negative side effects vaccine will bring. This is also very familiar, right? Dear operators, let's make this clear. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a conspiracy. It's not a theory. It's real. This character is portrayed as a crazy individual and ultimately arrested by police. What does this mean? Is this supposed to tell people if you question the government, you will face consequences even though your claims are credible? Is Permagov going to punish those people by saying those people spreaded misinformation? Dear operators, Permagov has no other choice to portray conspiracy theorists as stupid, uncooperative, selfish antagonists. Because more people who questions the tyranny of Permagov means Permagov can't control mankind easily. One of the main reasons why average-minded people are programmed to express negative reaction to the word called conspiracy theory. Newly coming operators might having headache right now, but I am sure senior operators are not surprised a bit. Do not fall into framework of media. Operators, you must be able to catch these propagandas with no problems. I am sure you will like the Wuhan virus video that will come out in future. It's interesting about where the name COVID came from too. Let's take a look at this Netflix show. A hub of propaganda, Netflix. It's called Bridgerton. This is about high-profile Anglo-Saxon aristocrats dating and mating in medieval era. In male's brain, you will look at this and think what kind of show this is, but in female's brain, this is like a porn. Females get so addicted on this kind of shows. Now let's look at what kind of propaganda this Netflix show has. What is this? So many of high-profile aristocrats are black. So many of them. Now, if somebody would say this, they will get canceled and called racist because it's not socially correct. Well, okay, fine, but if this show is going to have black aristocrats, where are East Asian aristocrats? Slavics, Indians, Africans? Why only westernized-looking black and West European aristocrats? Aren't everything must be inclusive in today's era? Fun fact, do you operators know what East Asians are known in Permagov inner circle? Unsuitable race for future world. East Asians are race of systematic exclusion. They are systematically excluded enough where there were no gay East Asians during the Paris Olympic. You know, there are many LGBT Asians, yeah? Predictive programming behind the mask of inclusion, inclusion by choice, not included if it's not part of Permagov's agenda, Richard von Coudenhove-Kalergi. The man of the future will be of mixed race. The Eurasian Negroid race of the future will replace the diversity of peoples. Well, dear East Asians, you are out of the recipe according to them. I don't know if it's bad or good because what does this Eurasian Negroid sound like to you, operators? I will tell you, this is what we call Untermensch in Nazism. Disturbing, isn't it? Knowing all the truth is disturbing. Also disturbing to know this monstrous belief still exists. If you are operators of this channel, you must catch these predictive programming at the site. What is the purpose of Bridgerton? Well, we need to know what Permagov's goal is first. If I was part of the global elites, my goal will be to enslave and control everyone. What is the best way to do this? Dear operators, I would delete every single root, national identities, race, culture, ideas, everything. I would delete every single identities of entire humanity. When mankind does not have any identity to stand and defend for, human are more easily persuaded and do not group and come together. Obliterate the unique features of average citizens from external appearance will be the best and first step to take, because sheeps tend to believe what is shown all the time, without questions. Mix, then mix, then mix, keep mixing. Delete the identity of race, nation, religion, culture, and even sex. These easily controlled and brainwashed average people can't even differentiate men and women today. Do you think LGBTQ and modern-day radical feminism is not calculated and designed? Do you really think these stuff happens by an accident? Everything is so easy. Again, this is what I would do if I had such power. Divide and exploit. Keep them away from knowing the truth. Anglo-Saxons' favorite. I would choose and pick who will receive scholarship and make them a future politician. Prime Minister, Secretary, Defense Administration, and others, just like JD Vance and Wilbur Ross. You can watch my first video about Donald Trump. I will put the link in the description. You can also scout people if they show any potential to work for the Permagov. Does it sound like Georgia Maloney? We found out she gave in to temporary fake pleasure of money. Anyways, after putting these beneficiaries into certain positions in politics in many countries, you give them agenda, laws, policies, and others that beneficiaries will carry out. Even upcoming future emergencies in nation or global scale and the proper response country must take. Policies could be such thing as absurd immigration bills, migrants from all over the world. Don't deny that your government treat immigrants better. Those who have not properly come into your country get treated better than most of you. So, after telling politicians that you sponsored from young age to take in countless immigrants, then operate the plan, one by one, to delete the identity of race, nation, religion, culture, ideas, everything. When new families are formed after this incident, future generations now grow up with the idea created by predictive programming. This new generation idea is now embedded into future generations' lives. Therefore, this is the new norm. This is what I call divide and rule by generation. Permagov's agenda time frame is set by 10 years, 50 years, 100 years. Average minds are so caught up with daily life, they are blindsided. I will talk about what our future generations will go through in future video. While carrying out these plans, predictive programming will be shown over and over, just like Bridgerton. Not to mention, charismatic representative figures will try their best to fake and deceive mass population and drag into misery. Let's look at third movie, I will keep it short, called Awake, a movie from 2021. What is this movie about? Oh, cyber attack, mass electricity outage. People need stronger government regulation, so this will not happen again. People must voluntarily give up their freedom so Permagov can keep them safe. Klaus Schwab, during World Economic Forum. Let's take a look.
The third greatest concern for companies surveyed is the increase of cyber attacks. We all know, but still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack.
Do you think this will not happen? Okay, how about we go a little back and talk about the movie Contagion? This is from CBS News with Bill Gates in 2017.
Through his foundation, Bill Gates has helped to fight AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. Well, today at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, he announced that his project called CEPI, or the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, has $460 million. He sat down with CBS News to talk about how that money will go to preparing for the next great epidemic.
The idea is to take a new way of building vaccines that could let us develop in less than a year a novel vaccine. They're called DNA-RNA vaccines, and so we'll fund a few projects to build specific vaccines, but not only will we get that, we'll prove out that these platforms can work, we'll understand the regulatory issues, and it gives us a chance of being able to respond in time when the next epidemic hits. We're in the same situation we were in before, where it takes years to build a new vaccine. But the scientific idea of these new platforms could radically change that, so that a lot of the steps are sitting there ready. The factory piece, understanding the regulatory piece, and you just have to plug in some information, do some quick safety profiles, and then you can get into manufacturing quite rapidly.
By Fauci from Georgetown University in 2017.
Which really, I think, set the stage for so many of the things that we are going to be dealing with over the coming years. Given, as you heard from the introduction, that I have been around for a while and have had the opportunity and the privilege and the pleasure of serving in 5 administrations, I thought I would bring that perspective to the topic today, is the issue of pandemic preparedness. And if there's one message that I want to leave with you today, based on my experience, and you'll see that in a moment, is that there is no question that there will be a challenge to the coming administration in the arena of infectious diseases, both chronic infectious diseases in the sense of already ongoing disease, and we have certainly a large burden of that, but also there will be a surprise outbreak.
If it allows thousands of people like you don't get vaccinated, you're going to let this virus continue to percolate in this country and in this world.
Something like the common flu then, right?
And
It's
like
much
the
more
common
serious than the flu.
Well, the flu kills a lot of people annually, too.
You know how many people died of the flu the last year? I mean, not this year, virtually none. But you know how many people died of the flu the last year? I mean, not this year, virtually none. But not this year, virtually none. But virtually none. But
Dear operators, what they said and are saying are not predictions. What they are saying are future plans, not predictions. What movies are showing are not coincidence and not predictions. Do you still think predictive programming is coincidence? Do you think it's a conspiracy theory? It's not a theory. It's real. Conspiracy by definition is real. Permagov is telling you their plan, right in front of your eyes. Wake up, operators. And if you are awake, do your best to wake up others, people around you. Share this video. So, what can we possibly see next? Monkeypox, bird flu, food shortages, aliens, carbon dioxide, sea level rise. Operators, I am not saying these are false, fake, or planned. What I am saying is that these can be easily weaponized to drive narratives that will lead people to give up their freedom and rights. That was it for this session, Predictive Programming. In the next session of Mind Control Resistance series, we will talk about PRS, Problem, Reaction, Solution. This is like bread and butter for Permagov's method to make average sheeps voluntarily give up their freedom and power. In PRS session, we will look how Permagov drives the narrative and make people voluntarily give up their power. Like, subscribe, comment, and spread our videos to others. One important thing. Operators might ask, who is behind the Permagov? I will tell you who is behind the Permagov. They are liars. Liars full of jealousy. They are multi-faced, lying, and jealous goofballs. I am describing fallen angels, which are demons. World today is too hard to believe that Bible isn't real. Before we go, let's make some promises. Number 1, we will not disappear and get forced to disappear. Number 2, we will not give up and we will not give in. Number 3, we will try our best to help others. Let's leave it at that for now. Dear operators, we are at war, a spiritual war. Although we may be outnumbered, we will come out victorious. They are afraid of more people knowing the truth. They are afraid because they know they do not have any power. All they can do is to lie and deceive and make mankind voluntarily work for them. Dear operators, we will not give in to this. We will not sell our soul for temporary and fake happiness. Stay alert, stay tactical,